Happy Halloween! Hi guys, it's Halloween, and I hope you enjoyed that skit. It's been a while since I have uploaded a YouTube video, and it's for good reasons. I've been busy doing regular medical stuffs since after the flood. It's already been a month since disaster struck Olongapo. If you want to see the video, the link is right here on the screen. It was epic. The rainwater poured like a deluge of 77 millimeters per hour. In major parts of Olongapo, the flood rose to 6 feet in minutes. This was because a large proportion of the city was surrounded by mountains, and some barangays served as catch basins for the flood. The water in the rivers soared a record high for the first time. As part of the first responders, I, along with the city health of Olongapo, was deployed in major parts of the city and especially in evacuation centers throughout. We worked hard to treat those devastated by the flood and those who caught disease because of it. We spread public health awareness through word of mouth with the help of the local government. We were aware that diseases like leptospirosis, dengue, diarrhea, and influenza usually follow disasters like this. Unfortunately, we were struck with an inevitable outbreak of leptospirosis. About 90% of Olongapo's populace was exposed to the fast rising flood. That's about 180,000 people. We were able to give as much of the prophylactic medicines as we can, but we were unable to reach a few. For about 2 weeks after the flood, about 700 were reported to have symptoms of leptospirosis, and they flocked to the 200-bed capacity City Hospital James L. Gordon Memorial. It was a massive undertaking to treat those people, and we were so lucky to have been helped by a lot of volunteer nurses and doctors from all over Zambales, and especially from the Red Cross and also from the Department of Health. There were 300 plus admissions and 13 deaths due to leptospirosis. The others were treated in private hospitals and outpatient barangay health centers. About 100,000 doxycyclines, 10,000 bottles of amoxicillin, and 1,000 bottles of erythromycin were issued to the general public with the help of the Department of Health. A lot of us barangay doctors were assigned to help in places needed the most. I was involved lately in re-educating survivors, especially school children, about the dangers of the flood, the symptoms of leptospirosis, and the benefits of public health. Leptospirosis is a disease that is largely transmitted by the urine of infested urban rats. It is caused by a coiled bacteria known as Leptospira intelligans, and it enters the human body through cuts, ingestion of contaminated food, or via the eye through immersion in flood water. If exposure to flood water is inevitable, wear protective clothing, get prophylactic medicines in evacuation centers and nearby health centers, and also update your tetanus shots. If you have fever for more than 2 days, you need to seek consult. A diagnostic kit in the form of rapid Leptospira antigen test became widely available after the flood. Unfortunately, this was not a gold standard and not a very sensitive test, but it replaced the microagglutination test and dark field microscopy that would take weeks to have a definitive result. It was priced high during the outbreak, but it gave some confirming evidence to those who can afford it. However, I personally found it useless, as we still gave prophylactic meds even if the test came out negative. In medical parlance, it talks like a horse, walks like a horse, and eats like a horse. Just because you're looking at a negative or a black and white film, you cannot be quick to judge that it's a zebra or something else. The symptoms and the exposure to the flood is enough to suspect leptospirosis. And speaking of symptoms, mild forms are flu-like, cough, colds, and fever, with addition of cough pain, abdominal pain, diarrhea, and sore eyes. Severe forms are known as Weil's disease, and this is characterized by jaundice, or yellowing of the skin and eyes, followed by oliguria, or a decrease in urination, difficulty breathing, and sometimes neck rigidity. A kid asked me the other day, if I get leptospirosis, how am I going to be infectious to other people around me? That was a good question. The bacteria travels in urine, and if you're infected, it's likely you are transmitting the leptospires in your urine. If you have any questions about leptospirosis, leave a comment below and click here to subscribe for more health-related stuffs. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel.